everything was freestyle. Like if you were in the air, I was about it.
That right there, buddy. That's Eric Iberg. He's a co-founder of Armada Skis. He's been a part of over 20 ski films. A co-founder of the B&E Invitational there, brother. And has mentored some of the best talent to ever be seen in the sport of free skiing. Look, to get a skiing company off the ground, you need some good skiers skiing your skis. And Eric was homies with a lot of them. The guy is literally responsible for bringing together some of the best names to ever ski for Armada. Legends like Tanner Hall, Boyd Easley, and one of the best skiers to ever do it, man, JP Eclair. How'd you get to know these guys?
I mean, I lived beside Boyd. Tanner, I knew for 3 years. He came on last. And then JP and Julian, I was working with Poor Boys. Phil Bellinger, Phil LaRose, I pretty much lived with filming through Royalty for a year and a half. And then JF was the only one that wasn't really like I had a relationship with, but he kind of came on last and didn't do much, right? Like it was more of his name, and he was coming back from injury and all this stuff.
So having this wicked roster of skiers, how'd you guys go about taking the next steps and, you know, founding a ski company?
So the whole idea with Armada was all these guys wanted so much more from the sport. And we always talked about what more we could do, whether it's put on a contest, like make movies, whatever. So we always talked about creating a ski company. And then it was just like, at this point, like I finished my first movie and I don't want to make another movie. I'm like, all right, let's make a ski company. That's going to be the next project. And so JP was talking with Chris O'Connell, the photographer. And so he's like, oh, we got to get Chris involved. And he was the oldest. I was the next oldest at 21. It was kind of a young group of guys. It took like a year to like figure out everything and then like do prototypes. And so we got that all together, and then we launched the brand fall of 2003.
What was the public's reception of Armada when you guys launched? You know, you were kind of the new kids on the block. You were going up against big incumbents like Rossi and Dina Star. Plus, you were pretty much the first company to primarily focus on free skiing, you know, these twin tip skis that were coming about. Did you guys receive any backlash because of that?
No, like, I mean, there was a little bit of interest because, I mean, we took the biggest skiers in the world, right? From the biggest brands. Right. And so like, it was interesting, but the hype was there. And so hype was beyond real. Like we could sell shit. The hype was so big. And then on top of it, the day we released at the trade show in Vegas, Tanner won X Games on the ski.
Use that exact run, Tanner Hall dropping into the slopestyle course of the 2004 Winter X Games on the new Armada AR5s. Big lip slide onto that first handrail. Huge left side cork 540 cap and lead blunt on that first kicker. Reverts over to forward. You don't see that nowadays. Big 450 disaster on the flat down. Such a big trick for 2004. Switch cork 900 lead safety. Hooking into the second kicker, tossing a left side bio 720 with this kind of uncrossed mute grab, looking super sick. Big disaster over to the handrail, and caps his run off by tossing a massive switch cork 720 trail in Japan on the money booter. Dude, like, man, for 2004, that is nuts.
We sold out at Vegas. Downfall was our first manufacturing. We had a little metal tail like on the cap, like on the bottom part. So it was like a little half moon that went there. I think like 90% of them fell off.
Oh.
So it was like we sold out, but I think like the customer service and all this, that would be I don't know all the repercussions, but I remember there was enough where it was a headache, but because we were so ahead of projections, it paid off.
Not only did Eric have a heavy hand in cultivating the success that Armada reaps today, but he also co-founded one of the gnarliest ski events to ever take place in history. The B&E Invitational, buddy. How'd you guys go about creating this thing?
So in 2013, we did the Tanner Hall Invitational, right? Yeah. So we started brainstorming in our head. We're like, man, like we want to do something like Street League. You know, we don't like the way contests are going. Like, what can we do? And so like kind of made the idea like Tanner was going to be like a transition element, like a hybrid of pipe, right? Where we had the quarter pipes and we had the hips. And so the idea was to add the B&E Invitational the next year. That would be more slope style orientated, you know, through like the skate park. That was concept off like Holy Bowl and snowboarding. And then I wanted to do a big air event. And I wanted to do that like a B-Paul Invitational because like it was all adding up from educational style, right? I was like, all right, I'm going to blow these guys up and then make them bigger and then keep building their brands and whatever. And just everything. It allowed just anything that we wanted. Like I built a halftime show into it, you know, so we could get musical artists. We had like Master Killa come out. We had Walshy Fire, Dylan Cooper, Kia Bumba always played.
The B&E Invitational went on from 2014 to 2016 with the courses, the skiing, and the skiers getting bigger and better each and every year. 2015, man, you feel like you're in a chilly version of a skate park. Tornado Wallace, man, favorite skier of all time, tossing that flat spin 1080, trailing safety to flat. 2016, they one-upped themselves again, creating an absolute masterpiece with some frozen agua. Dolo hitting a double 1260 on one of the gnarliest axes ever hit by mankind. Now to take it another step further, Eric Iberg is one of the most notorious ski film creators in the entire industry. He's acted as a director, a producer, a cinematographer, and a editor in over 20 ski films. Eric's the mastermind behind classics like Royalty by E-Media Studios, Like a Lion by Inspired Media Concepts, and most recently Be Inspired, which features Henry Carlo and Phil Casabon, some of the greasiest individuals to ever put on a pair of twigs.
When you learn the truth, people will either tell on you or turn on you.
Like, buddy, the skiing in this thing, it's nasty. How do you actually go about making a ski film? Like, do you just, you know, have one standardized process you always stick to?
So say like my first big film that like I concept, market, do everything like that. I'm hanging out with the 3 Phils, right? So what can I do with my friends? Well, they're on Dynastar. Candide's on there, Mikhail Dishno's on there, Evan Didvig's on there. Like these are either my friends or people I know or people that I think are the shit. So like, what if I make the first team video ever in sport of freestyle skiing? That's kind of think how every process went on every film. You know, it's like, who are my friends and what can I do? I can't imagine telling someone who's not my friend, you got this. I don't know if they do. I can't imagine telling someone who's not my friend, do that. You know, it's so crazy already because I saw so many people get injured, know so many people died. It was so crazy to me because I'd hear certain vibes from when other people would film with different filmers. It's like, you don't have a relationship. The filmer is the guy who's going to save your fucking life if you break yourself. He's the one that's going to call someone. He's the one that's going to carry you to the car. He's the one that's going to drive you back. Like,
were you there to witness Tanner Hall break both his ankles and heels at Chad's?
No, all these kids broke themselves off when they were at Bad Influence, man. Like he wasn't with any of his crew. He was with a TGR, like on a jump that was the stupidest jump ever made on slushy weather day. I mean, they didn't even film it. How are you not, you know what I mean? Like if you're with your friends, you're filming everything. You got a little digi out, you got this, like, so you're not missing your friend have the second gnarliest crash, if not bigger than Chad's gap, right? He did his legs and his knees on the fucking TGR thing.
Now, starting out as a skiing cinematographer, you know, this is kind of the late 90s, early 2000s for you. What was it that you think made your film stand out from the rest?
What was different about my first movie? It was slow motion and it was 7 people. That's it, with rap music. And so the idea was that was all it took for me to be different because MSP, TGR, Poor Boys, and Level 1 had a minimum of 45 people in it. Now, the real difference on the business side was I was the only person that handpicks my skiers ever. And then I go to sponsors. So imagine I say, hey, I'm going to film your skier. Can I have a bunch of money? They go, no, but thank you. Now, if I'm anyone else, all my competitors, they're going, hey, how much money could you give me? And they're like, oh, we got 20,000 for you. And then they say, okay, who do you want us to film with?
Yeah.
So that's how every other movie was made.
Now, throughout all this, you know, co-founding Armada, co-founding the B&E Invitational, filming over 20 ski movies. Eric Iberg also acted as a manager for some of the best talent to ever step foot on snow. Over the years, he has mentored the 3 Phils, Kai Peterson, Tanner Hall, Henry Carlo, Phil Casabon. Nice, man. Like, these are some of the most flexible people on planet Earth, buddy. What was it like being a manager for these athletes?
I guess managing is like some word it's put on the internet, but it's more of mentoring. You know, like I didn't think about it until someone asked, like Tanner when I was with him like a decade ago or something, like, oh, it's Eric. And they're like, well, what's he do? And he's like, Tanner's like, he's like my mentor. And I was like, sick, man. I never even thought of that, you know? But then when I looked at it, I'm like, well, that's all I'm doing. I'm giving ideas for here's potential paths of like that I can see from looking at you from afar. You can start a ski company, you can create an event, make a movie, whatever it is, here's what you can do. And so this isn't managing. Managing is kind of like saying, oh, you need to be here now. Like say with the Phils, like, I mean, my biggest role was just having an American phone when I was with them. My biggest thing was every person that I ever worked with, my biggest goal was because I got to sleep on their couch, because they got me something in life. I always said, I never want to take more than I receive, you know, or I don't want to receive more than I give. So I always made sure, like, what can I do? People say, wow, Eric, you're way too nice. Or, hey, Eric, you really need to start looking out for number one. I'm like, yeah, but if I don't look out for 2, 3, and 4, number one's fucks. They're all going to hate me. And so like, it just don't make sense to me how the world talks or how it walks. And so I don't know how I fit, but I just know who I am and I'm okay with it.
Massive thanks to Eric for taking the time to sit down and have a nice little chit chat. I don't know about you, but dude, I'm inspired.